Today we are celebrating Holy Communion, but today we are celebrating the communion of empty hands. This celebration is often shared in the communities in which there is tremendous deprivation and suffering. And today we remember by sharing this story. Once there was a prisoner who wrote, "Today is my first Easter in this prison. Surely the regime cannot continue to keep almost 10,000 of us in jail." Many of the prisoners have already heard that they've lost their homes and their furniture and everything they own. Their families are broken apart by disease and war and sorrow. Many of our children are wandering the streets, their father in one prison and their mother in another one. There is not a single cup, but the score of prisoners experience the joy today of celebrating communion, but without bread and wine, the communion of empty hands. There were others who said, "We will help you. We will talk quietly to hide you here in this prison so that you can meet," because to dance a silence would have alerted the guard's attention as much as the lone voice of a preacher. And so we remember those prisoners, and we remember all of us in our homes separated from one another. We remember the communion of empty hands, remembering all those who around the world celebrate and remember the coming of Christ in the communion service, and who celebrate and look with hope toward the day when Christ shall come again. And so, even though we do not have bread, we celebrate the communion of empty hands in their honor and in the memory of all those who have died. Today we celebrate the communion of the broken cup, the cup that is broken apart, the cup that is turned over and spilled out, that is today empty of the celebration of wine. But nevertheless, we celebrate this sacrament, remembering the Christ and remembering the followers who through the generations, even in the face of death and sorrow, gathered together in their homes and in secret and in jails and in poverty and war and even in times of disease, to remember the blessing of God and to look to that hopeful day when again, one sweet day, we will gather together at the table in peace. May it be so. May we learn to celebrate with one another in days of sorrow and in days of joy. May we look to the hope of Christ, who promises to be with us every time we gather together. Amen.